Perfect. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me today. We have special guest Molly Asplin here with us today for the hot seat call. Molly's a 9-star diamond. She's already hit elite this year. I think this is your third time elite. Right,
It's my second time elite. My first time was I was premier. I wasn't 5-star yet.
That's right. Okay, so second time elite. She's already hit it this year. She's doing an incredible job. You're number like 43 in the network, I believe. 47 in the network right now. So just seriously crushing it. So Molly, before we get started with all these questions, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started with Beachbody, where you're at today?
Sure. So thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I used to work with Sid. Now I work with Doug and Robbie. I've been coaching for 3 years, and I started actually for the business. So I didn't come in as a customer. I'm someone who, I have a finance background, corporate finance, but I always taught group fitness and personal trained on the side. And I did that throughout college too. So I was kind of looking to fill that like fitness cup up. But I was really sick of going to my corporate job and then going to teach classes. It was like burning me out, and I wasn't really finding joy from it anymore. And so actually another fitness instructor brought up online coaching to me. I think that's what she called it. And I was like, I don't really know what that is, but tell me more about it. And I actually think I joined some of her free challenges on Facebook. She had like a 5-day Christmas challenge or something. And I was like, this is really cool. And I signed up. So I was honestly a pretty easy sell. But I didn't start working the business until my first Super Saturday. So I find that kind of interesting. And that's why I really make a point to get even my like super inactive coaches to Super Saturday, because that's really what made me go. So I signed up in February, and then I actually started working the business in April. And then I just started understanding Success Club and all that, and kind of took off from there. I married husband Steve, and we just had a baby girl, Kate, in August. So I'm figuring that whole thing out.
No, thank you so much for sharing. So, guys, we can start asking questions now. I'll start the questions, and I'm going to go right into it. So, I was looking at the elite report, and I mean, you are like, can I say how many points you have in a category? Do you mind? Okay. She has like over 130 points in the Success Club category. So it's like, holy crap, crushing it. So how are you getting your coaches to hit Success Club?
Yeah. So one thing to know, you guys, is that I'm not a big recruiter myself. Like I usually do somewhere between 20 and 40 SC. I mean, I think I've had, my record is probably like 70 in January or something. But I actually don't usually go beyond 40, because I do think that's my personal like breaking point of like, I can't take on that many people and feel like I'm serving them. And everyone's so different with that, right? But I don't sign up everyone as discount coaches. I actually don't do that very often unless I need a spot filled or something. I really follow the vital process, and I don't know if everyone knows what that is, but it's always worked well for me. And so I do it. But basically I bring people in as a customer, give them an awesome challenge group experience. And then I ask them if they want to co-lead the next challenge group with me. And so I typically bring on about 5 to 10 coaches a month, but they're all business builders, right? So I don't really have discount coaches. And I get them to hit Success Club by helping them share their coming out as a coach post. So they sign up to be a coach. I send them like my new coach welcome email. I have a video of myself in there. It's like a 20-minute, it's the GSR, right? I used to do GSRs and I stopped doing them, and now I have it recorded because I was saying the same thing every time and they just weren't bringing me joy anymore. So at the end of that video, it says, your next step is to make your coming out as a coach post. I want you to draft up your story. I want you to pick a scroll stopping photo. And once you've got that ready, preferably today or tomorrow, like this is a quick thing, send it to me on Facebook. I'll be waiting for it. And they send it to me, and I told them exactly how to do it. And so they're usually really good. and they've got like their transformation photo or a nice photo with their family, you know, whatever they're willing to share. And they can usually hit Success Club off that one post. And it's not that, you know, then they've built that confidence and they're like, cool, I'm on this board with all these other girls. I'm profitable as a coach. I also coin up Success Club as, if you want to be profitable as a coach, if you want to earn back the cost of your own Shakeology and then some, this is what you have to do. So like Success Club, I mean, they're like, I don't really get what that is, and I don't care about a Joel Freeman bobblehead. I mean, some of them do, but most of them don't. But they care about being profitable. And so I explain to them how their challenge pack sales are going to cover the cost of their Shakeology. And I like line out the easy math for them, right?
Okay, so Cassidy asked, do you give them any kind of script or for when they post, or just let them go?
Yeah, I do give them a script, because if you don't, they will post something stupid. Like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, you know? And I don't give them a script, but I say, I don't want you to call yourself a Beachbody coach. I want you to share a little bit about your story. I want you to put in as much emotion as you can. I teach my girls how to be really good posters, you guys, because I really believe that it's quality over quantity with posting, and that people they're just like immune to the Beachbody crap, you know, like I love it, but people are so immune to it. And so I want them to be lifestyle coaches, and I want them to build a platform so that Beachbody is the start, but they can turn it into whatever the heck they want. And so I tell them to tell their story, and then I have them end it with a call to action. And I explain what a good call to action is. And then they send me the draft. So if they do have something like that I just wouldn't include in it, I can say, hey, I wouldn't say that you're doing 80-day obsession, just call it your 80-day program. You know, I teach them the curiosity marketing stuff so that first post they make is super tasteful, and they get a lot of questions on it right off the bat. Yep. And then the other thing I think is really important, and some people will probably maybe not agree with this, but my coaches have message scripts. And I'm just a big believer that you need to equip a new coach with what to say to people, because they don't know. And even if they're like, you know, a super cool person and smart and everything, they can really botch it with those first, like with a really warm market, if they're saying something really gross in those messages. And I always tell this story, you guys, but I didn't really have an upline. And so I just started and I put out my post and my before and after photo. And I started messaging everyone who liked it, because that's what someone had told me to do. And guess what I did? I said, hey, I saw that you liked my 21-day fix post. I'm doing another challenge group. Here's my link to get signed up. My favorite Shakeology is chocolate. Send. And it was like, do you know how many people I like just botched it with that have now maybe come around, but I lost a lot of trust doing that. And I just didn't know any better. You know, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. So I really want all my new girls to just understand how to have good sales conversations. And, you know, that's what they are. Like I teach my girls how to have really tasteful salesmanship, womanship. Okay. How do you help a guy coach share his story? The same way I would help a girl coach. I don't have a lot of guy coaches, and I don't really focus on that market. But I would tell them the same thing, Vicki. Yeah, Christy, I'm glad you agree on scripts. I just heard it was like a top coach. I don't even remember who, but she's like, I don't give my coaches anything. And I was like, okay, but like they could like lose a lot of people without anything. My personal opinion.
Hi, Molly. I have a question for you. Sorry, I sound sick and awesome right now, but so I kind of wanted to back up to when you're in the challenge group and asking them to co-lead. Are you kind of setting a vision for like, hey, coaching can help you earn supplemental income, or are you just talking to them about covering the cost of their products?
No, I'm talking to them like about the business, not just about covering their cost. So I will throughout the groups, I send a lot of behind the scenes messages, like really heavy in the first couple weeks, because we all know that's like the honeymoon phase, right? It's, well, people are feeling good. They're still in this. They're having a lot of fun. And so I will be building people up even more behind the scenes. You're an awesome leader in this group. Thank you for encouraging others. Hey, would you mind like covering the challenge group for me today? I'm not going to have access to Wi-Fi. Building up the leaders in the challenge groups and making them leaders before they even really know it. And then, I don't know, week 2 perhaps, or whenever it feels right, I will say, hey, Colleen, I know you've been crushing it in the group. Like, you're getting awesome results. Your journey's just beginning. I'm not sure if you've thought about the coaching piece, but you would be really good at it for XYZ reasons. I don't really have a script for this. I really try to make it personal, because we all know everyone has different strengths, which would make them a good coach. Coaching can absolutely help you provide supplemental income. The community piece is awesome. Have you ever considered it? I would really love to co-lead the next group with you.
So I'm like really dissecting it. Sorry. Because
No.
I feel like for me, my tribe all of a sudden is like dissecting, like, okay, do I have to build a following? And then like they're way overthinking it. And so I've really been trying to adopt Emily and Ashley's mentality of like, let's just try to help 3 people get started with the same thing you did, And I'm like,
Yep.
But then I feel like we're not moving ahead and building strong coaches, because then we're simplifying it so much. So I guess my follow-up question to that is, when you are asking them to co-lead the challenge group, are you still kind of treating them as a like new coach then, or as a challenger? Like, where are you kind of, I guess, diving in with them? Because like co-leading a challenge group. Sorry, go ahead. I asked my question.
No, it's a really good question. So I think just like blanket level, I really try to treat my coaches like independent coaches from the beginning. Because if you're just like, oh, I just want you to cover your Shakeology, I feel like it's just adjust, and they're not gonna go. They're not gonna be your like high performers. And so I'll say, do you want to co-lead? And if they're like, yep, and they sign up and we get them onboarded and stuff. So right now I have like about 8 new coaches. I don't really want to co-lead a group with 8 new coaches. Like, my people wouldn't like that. It'd probably be too many cooks in the kitchen. So what I tell them is, okay, if you want to co-lead this group with me, I need you to have 3 customers that sign up with a challenge pack. And here's why. Because you're going to have a lot more fun as a leader if you have at least 3 people in that group with you, and the group is just going to be, a lot more exciting. I don't really want you to lead a group where you have no customers. And they're like, oh yeah, like that makes a lot of sense. And so just last night, one of them was like, I have 2, like, what if I can't get my 3rd? And I'm like, Sarah, if you can't get your 3rd, it's totally fine, but then you'll be in the group as a participant again, and you still be a leader, and you'll still have your girls in the group, but then maybe by the next month, you'll have 5 people ready to go, and you can be a leader and get the little black coach emblem by your name in the app. And you guys, this makes my girls want to hit Success Club, because they're like, well, I want to lead the group with Molly. Like, I don't want to just be a participant again. And it builds them up to want to have that leadership. Do you use the app versus Facebook for? Yeah, Teresa, I kind of go back and forth. I do a few different things, but for the most part, I use the app. Yeah, and I start a new challenge group every month. I'm someone who does that. I liked the National Wake Up Call yesterday. I have a lot of ideas spinning from it, but I do start a new group every month, and I theme them, and I, jazz them all up. I really like challenge groups. I have a lot of fun with it. Anything specific for challenge groups, like content, engagement, CTAs? Yeah, so Colleen, I'm filling spots right now for my holiday boot camp group, and that will be themed around daily gratitude. And we're all going to be doing Insanity Max 30. So sometimes I will make them program specific. For the ones that I always have 2 challenge groups going, like my Molly challenge group, which is my favorite because I like leading stuff alone. And then I have my new coach group where I will also add some of my challengers, but I'm co-leading it with new coaches to kind of help them know what a good challenge group feels like. Are you running new groups every month, or do you open it up to all your past clients too, or just new clients? So new and past, Amanda, but my past people have to tell me that they want in. I don't just roll people over, because what I find with that is people get kind of burned out, they stop showing up, and that really kind of pisses me off. So I'm like, if you're going to be in my groups, like, you got to put forth the energy. And sometimes, you know, I don't ask them to join. At the end of each group, I say, who wants to be in the next one? And if people don't comment on it, I don't add them to the next one. Or if they don't reach out to me, I don't add them to the next one. But what I find then is when they have to reach out and ask you, they have a lot more conviction. And I will even say, like, yeah, Kara, I'm really happy to have you in my next group, but I noticed that you didn't post at all in the last group. And, you know, the challenge groups are nothing if we're not putting forth the energy. So they know that they need to show up. I hate having dead challenge groups. It really bothers me.
Okay, so you get your coaches to come in, hit Success Club. How are you getting them to, like, a Success Club, especially their first month, but how do you keep getting them to hit Success Club? How are you getting them to Emerald? How are you getting them Diamond? Like, how are you getting that next phase?
Yeah. So Success Starters, the summit ticket, you guys, is so huge for my girls. And I'm sure it is for a lot of yours too. But, you know, if you sign up people up as discount coaches, they can kind of miss that because they haven't started working the business yet. So that is a huge incentive. And what I find typically is if they hit it the first 3 months, they know how to do it. And they've gotten in a good rhythm. I'm sure that's probably why Beachbody came out with that whole thing, right? But they've gotten in a really good rhythm. They have their summit ticket. So they're kind of like, well, I'm going to this event in 6 months. Like, I think I should keep working the business. And then I also share things like, you know, do you know you're already 3 months in. You're going to be like Bridget was, and you're going to be our next Success Club All-Star. You know, I've set cast the vision for them of like, this isn't a 3 months and done. This is like, you're going to keep hitting Success Club. Here's the other thing is we have a lot of girls on our team who hit Success Club 10. We don't have a lot of like 20s and up, but we have a lot of SC10. And I think that it's because I do this call, it's called the SC10 Leaders Chat, and only the SC10 girls get to be on it. Like, we're about to do the October one. And we'll talk about like leadership level things. You know, we'll talk about like people in their downline so that they can just like build their leadership skills, stuff that they won't get to talk about on, you know, a team call or like a new coach call. And a lot of times new coaches can hit SC10 and they're on a call with these other leaders, and it just like, it levels up your entire team. I used to do diamond calls and stuff like that. And then like, you know, those stagnant diamonds who have been diamond for a year but haven't done anything else were on that call. And I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, but SC10 for that current month that's really helped me a lot, I think, to level up new coaches. Okay, hang on. Do I do one-to-one calls? Like you said, new coach calls. Yeah, Cassidy, I do one-to-one calls, but probably not until someone is like a decently solid Emerald. You know, like I have this new coach thread, and I'm not going to get on one-to-one calls with new coaches because then, I don't know, they might quit in a week, right? And I was just kind of doing too much of that. So if I really have a like case-by-case basis, it's not like I don't have they have to hit Success Club. I don't have they have to be Emerald with 4 working coaches. But they have, you know, I look at what they're doing and I can see if they're trying, and I just kind of use good judgment on, should I really spend 20 minutes getting on a one-to-one call with this person? Yeah, Logan, the SC10 call, I think it really is empowering. My girls, they they get FOMO really bad about team stuff. So I was like, my team loves live events. Well, not all of them are local, and live events can only happen so often. And same with retreats, right? So I really thought, how can I like create FOMO with something else besides a retreat? And I was like, well, a SC10 call, that would probably create some FOMO, and it does. GSR. Yeah, I just send the GSR video along with my welcome email to new coaches. And then that usually triggers them to make their coming out post. Is that once a month, the SC10? Yes. Once a month, Emily, for the SC10 call. What other calls do I do for mentoring everyone in my team? I don't have a lot of calls. We have a monthly team call, and we make that team call really good. Like, we put good energy into one monthly call instead of doing a half-ass weekly call where, half the people show up. Like, we get, I don't know, 60 people on our team calls every month, and I don't have that big of a team. So, it's really good attendance. But weekly calls work really well for some people too, and you do you.
Okay, guys, what other questions do you have?
I have a question. Are you running push to diamond groups, or how are you kind of like starting to develop the leaders beyond emerald, diamond, and even like diamond and beyond?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of push to diamond groups. I probably do one like quarterly, but it's only for about 30, like maybe 30 days. I just did one last quarter, and I don't know. We've had diamond threads. We've had diamond push groups. And right now I actually have push to diamond, but it's all within my team page. And I'm kind of loving that, because the girls who maybe aren't pushing, they're learning, and they're learning like, what does diamond look like? How do I get to business builders? What should my messages say? And so it's kind of my favorite platform that I've used for push to diamond. And I think I'll continue that just within the team page. So I don't want people spending time in a push group. I want them like doing their crap.
I have a question for you. I could ask questions all day. When you have a coach that is struggling to hit Success Club, what are some things that you kind of deep dive into? Do you pull conversations? Do you look at their social media?
Yes, both. Social media, I would say, is my first kind of pass through. And I give people honest feedback. Like I used to be so bad. It's like, well, you're doing a great job. Like your posts look good. Like if their posts aren't good, tell them. Like I just told a girl the other day, okay, the sweaty selfie that you posted at 5 a.m. talking about how like you did your morning workout, like I can't even see your face because it's too dark. Like I really shoot them straight with their social media, because that's their storefront. We all know that. And then I say, if they say I'm hearing no's or I can't get to Success Club, I say, send me 5 examples, 5 screenshots of messages where you heard no, because maybe we can tweak them just a tiny bit and I can see like, if something's a little bit off. And one of 2 things will happen. They'll send me the 5 screenshots and I'll learn like what they're saying behind the scenes, and something will be off. Or they'll be like, oh, well, like, I guess I've only talked to 2 people. And I'll be like, okay, well, you just need to talk to more people. But I deep dive into messages a lot, because you guys, our coaches do not know what to say to people. And even some of my like diamonds, I see their messages and I'm like, oh, why did you say that? But wording is so important, and like talking to people with good language and like good questions is really important. It kind of goes back to that salesmanship. I think that's really important. With your monthly calls, do you have guest speakers or trainings? Teresa, a little bit of everything. The last couple we've done guest speakers, and that's been kind of fun. But I also learned, I had a few of my diamonds say, I just really like when you share what you're doing, you know? And so I don't always want to bring in just a guest speaker. I lead my team with Caitlin Deutschman. You guys probably know her. So we lead our team together, Hustle with Heart. So a lot of times she and I will lead the call. And we'll talk about like what's ahead for the next month, how to capitalize on that. We also feature people from our team on our calls a lot. Because, you know, as your teams grow, your Emerald coaches need to see their Diamond coaches as leaders. And what that also will do is it'll create a lot of close-knit within your team, right? Like, people don't really like go and do their own thing away from Hustle with Heart a lot. They will, right? They have their team pages and stuff, but they're not I always tell them, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, don't share the same crap that I'm sharing Hustle with Heart in your team page, because that's not a value-added activity. And so we really make our team calls. It's not just Molly. It's not just Kate. It's not just a guest speaker. It's like, you know, last month we highlighted 5 girls and they told their quick and dirty story, and it lit up the entire team. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, Shelby's story was so relatable for me. Like, if she can go to NLC, I can go to NLC. So team like empowerment and lifting up your team, I think that's really, really important. Oh, my team told me that too. Okay. What expectation do you set for coaches for how many invites to be doing weekly? I hear such varying answers for this in the network. All right. So I teach my team how to invite, like, for sure. And I spend more time on that than I do teaching them how to build a following. I do a lot of personal invites, and I think it has worked well for me. So I teach them how to do that. And what's cool is if they know how to invite on the internet, they know how to invite in person, right? It's like, I just want them to know how to talk to people. And I want them to be really confident about that. So I tell them that 1 in 10 say yes. And so I say, if you want to hit Success Club, you know, that's 3 people. That's at least 30 invites that you're going to need to send. And you can't just probably send an invite, because that's kind of gross. So I teach them how to relationship build, and then how to go into the invite so that they can talk to a cold market Instagram person about, you know, the sweater they were wearing. And they can build a relationship with that person, and then they can eventually get to the invite after, like, you know, 3 to 4 messages, or when it feels good for them. But I don't teach my team how to cold market invite, because I don't do that. And I remind them that 1 in 10 say yes. And so I have some girls right now who are trying to build to Diamond from the ground up, and they're trying to do it, you know, by November 21st or whatever it is. And I'm like, all right, Diamond is 12 people if you're going to get them all yourself. And that's 120 people. 12 times 10 is 120 people. That's 120 invites that you're going to have to send between now and then to get that. And so I really try to set the numbers straight with them, because what I find, you guys, is people just don't invite enough. You know, they make a post and they think that people are going to flock to them.
I love that. Like, breaking it down to Diamond, it's 120 invites. So it doesn't show exactly like you post a post, you invite 3 people, and why aren't you Diamond yet? So I think that's great.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
I have a question. I know you have a lot of local coaches. Do you have any advice? Are you like going out looking for local coaches, or do you have any advice on, are you just looking for those people, or how you built that, and then the advantages that you've seen with that?
Yeah, I like local coaches the best, because I can go have coffee with them and meet them. And you guys, I don't love social media, right? Like, I've built my business on social media and it's great, but I really like in-person stuff. And I really like when our team can hang out and we go to Summit and all that stuff. And maybe some of you are the same. But I don't have a strategy for how I get local coaches, aside from the fact that a lot of my business is built on Facebook and friends of friends. And so, and my friends were local and their friends are local. And, I used to teach fitness classes at my college. And so their friends of friends who all went to the same college, like it just kind of happened that it's been local. Now with Instagram, it's getting a little more non-local, but I really just try to keep the local connection going, with like group Zooms and fit clubs online and retreats, obviously. But yeah, Emily, I don't have a good answer for that, besides the fact that I like local coaches the best. Okay, Colleen, I'm getting the objection of where do I find new people, although I have showed them 10x. Haha. Yeah, new people. I still advise my new coaches to do free groups and to have those people who are in their free group invite friends so that they can start building that pipeline early.
I'll ask another question. When you're helping your new coaches get started, are you still putting them through like a 2-week or 14-day or whatever new coach training? Or are you really just focusing first on let's talk to these 30 people first, have you get them signed up, and then dive into more training?
Yeah, I have a new coach mentorship group. It's 10 days is a Facebook group. But it focuses on the actions. So I redid it about a year ago because it was just, people were just consuming it and they weren't doing anything. So now, for example, one of the first days is like make a name list, right? And put a screenshot of your name list here. And so it gets people in the habit of the doing right away. And one of them is, have you made your coming out as a coach post? Share it once you've made it in the comments below. And so the new coaches can see all the other new coaches what they said in their coming out post, and it helps people get into the actions.
Okay, anything else, guys?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So going back to how, you're really into the vital process and you don't just do the discount coaches, along with your challenge groups saying that you don't just roll people over, they have to express interest. Excuse her. I'm curious what your follow-up process is for the challengers who don't want to roll over, and how to keep them engaged. Or
yeah, for the ones who don't want to roll over, I send emails and my emails get good responses. So I know some people are like, oh, email, like nobody reads my emails. I have pretty good success with that. And so every month I send an email when it's time for my next challenge group to start, and I include a Google form on if you want to apply for this group, here's the form, here's what this group is going to be all about, and that will revive a lot of past people.
I have a question. Okay, so I know you have a lot of local coaches, and so do I. So here's what I'm running into. Okay, so we all went to school together. We all have mutual friends, which is amazing. And so our challengers feel like, or our clients feel like they can kind of like bounce from group to group, like, oh, I know all the coaches, so why can't I join all of their challenge groups? Like, what's the big deal? Do you have that happen too?
That's funny. Every now and then, Christy, but no, not a lot.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks, right? It's kind of like, oh, we don't want to deal with this. But no, we don't. I haven't had it happen that often. Sometimes I'll have people come to me, and they're from my downlines coaches, and they'll ask me a question or something. And I would just always refer them back to their coach. Like, well, it sounds like you're working with Courtney. She's amazing. Like, have an awesome challenge group with her. Bye.
Yeah. We have that we honestly have that problem daily.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
That is tricky. I wonder if you just need to like have a blanket statement like,
Yeah.
I'm your coach, you're working with me. We do things as a team, but like I'm your primary go-to or something like that.
Yeah, and see what gets tricky is sometimes we run groups together and sometimes we don't, so they feel like they know all of us, and like 90% of my PS coaches live 15 minutes away from me, so it's like they think, we're all just this one group of coaches and you can join anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's tricky. I have one other question for you. A lot of my PS coaches are having this issue, and it's new in the last couple months, where it's like they get someone's attention, they're interested in a challenge group, and then boom, like it's like this long 2-week drawn out conversation. Do you know what I mean? They can't get that person to sit down and listen for 5 minutes. And the phone call thing is not working. These people are like, no, I don't really have time for a phone call. Anyway, so my coaches are having this really hard time closing sales because it's like this 2-week process. These people will not stay put for 5 minutes and finish a conversation.
That's so weird, right? Are these Instagram conversations, Christy, or Facebook?
Facebook.
Yeah, the only thing I would recommend is adding a sense of urgency, not only in the messages, but in the posts. So, every single follow-up I send has a pretty good sense of urgency in it, and I teach my coaches this as well. So like, hey, Christy, we were chatting the other day. You're thinking about the group. Just want you to know I'm prepping things for it now. I need to know either way if you're in or out. Do you want me to keep your spot reserved?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. And maybe they're doing that already, but they need to know, are you one way or the other? And I always teach my girls, like, go get the yes or go get the no, but like, go after it. Don't just not follow up.
Right. I totally agree. I feel like it's wasting their time.
Yeah, it is. And it might just be also a message of talk to different people.
Right. And I feel like they have like this potential yes. So it's kind of like giving this hope that, okay, well, that's going to be a yes and a challenge pack sale. So I pretty much have Success Club locked in. And then like 2 weeks later, they're still talking to the same person. And I'm like, I don't need to move on.
Yeah, usually that's the case, is they just aren't talking to enough people.
Yeah.
You've probably heard this too, but it's called the takeaway method. Bob Heilig teaches it. And it's like, I've got your name on the list. If now is not the right time, no worries, but I'm going to remove your name from the list and I'll open up your spot to someone else.
Yeah.
And that message, they're like, oh, wait. I guess I do want to join.
No, I think that's great advice. We're about to announce our big challenge tomorrow. So I wanted to come up with a better game plan for these coaches that are like, hoping on, all of these people to come through, but they never do.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's so true.
Thank you.
Oh, Cassidy. Something like, hey, I've got your name on the list. I just want to see where you're at because I haven't seen your order come through yet. I'm getting final details prepped for the boot camp group. Do you want me to keep your name on the list, or am I okay to open up your spot to someone else?
That is so good. I love that. So good. Okay, guys, any questions? We good today?
I had one.
Oh, go ahead.
I think you missed, me and Colleen were asking, what email service do you use?
Oh, Teresa, I use Streak.
You do Streak? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Gal, thank you so much, Molly. We seriously appreciate you. I took a page of notes. I'm sure you guys did as well. We really, really got such great content from you, so we really appreciate it. Everyone else, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much, and have a good week. Bye.